Hey guys, welcome to the channel. One more time. Right now we're going to dissect two exponential functions. Make sure that we know everything about them. This is pretty much a review of everything that we have seen. And let's start with identifying the y-intercept. Well, we know that the y-intercept is 3. The value of a is always our y-intercept, at least in this case. And I can write it as 0, 3. Does this represent growth or decay? Well, we know that because b is greater than 1, 1.05 is greater than 1, that is growth. So this will be my growth factor, 1.05. Now remember that there is a difference between a factor and a rate. A factor and a rate. The rate is a percentage by which the graph is increasing or decreasing. So because we know that b is greater than 1, we use the equation b minus 1 to find rate, which that will be equal to 1.05 minus 1, which is equal to 0.05. But that as a percent is just 5%. This is 5%. Great. Now my domain is, if you were to graph this on the calculator, you will see that the graph goes all the way to negative infinity and then goes all the way to positive infinity. Well, at least we assume this because we don't have a graph that can get you all the x values, all the y values. So we assume that the graph doesn't stop and continues. So I can write it as x is greater than negative infinity, but is less than positive infinity. Or I can just say it's all real numbers. Now the range is a little bit different. Remember that exponential functions are very particular functions because they have an asymptote. And I'm going to answer that here right now. We know that the asymptote of any exponential function in this form is y is equal to 3 times, sorry, I'm saying all of this wrong. The asymptote for any exponential function in this form is y equals 0 or x-axis. It's one of those two, y equals 0 or the x-axis. So that means that the graph is always trying to approach the line at the x-axis, but it will never touch it. Therefore, my range will be y is greater than 0. One more time. It's because my graph is always trying to approach this, but it will never touch it. So my graph, my range will never be 0 or any number below 0. Let's dive into this one now. Y-intercept, we know that is 0, 2. The growth or decay, think about it. You probably know this already. If you said that this is decay because b is less than 1, you are correct. Now the factor is just that, is 0.06. And the rate, well, because it's decay, we're going to flip this. Instead of saying b minus 1, we say it's 1 minus b, which is equal to 1 minus 0.06, which is equal to 0.94. Well, what is 0.94 as a percent? That is 94%. My domain, it's the same one. It's all real numbers. And the range for an exponential function in this form will just be y is greater than 0. It's the same range. And the asymptote will be, well, the same as well. Y equals 0 or the x-axis. Let me just clarify that these two are the same. This is the same thing. Okay, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. It doesn't hurt you and it definitely doesn't hurt me.